This is Module 4, Lesson 13. Our learning target for today is I can multiply unit fractions by unit fractions using a model. So if you take a look at the first problem on your homework, it says half of a cake. And we know that when we see the word of, that means I'm going to multiply. So really what this problem is asking me to do is take 1/2 multiplied by 1/2, or 1/2 of a half. So in order to draw my fraction model, I need to represent 1 whole. Since both of my numbers are less than 1 whole, I can just put a 1 here to represent 1 whole. Then I'm only going to focus on half of that whole. So the shaded part is what I'm focusing on, okay? And that's which number is represented right here, okay? Then I'm going to find 1/2 of that half. So I'm going to take that half and I'm going to split it in half. Okay, so 1/2 of that half is represented in this box. Well, if I extended this line, then it would show 4 pieces. And I would show that one of those pieces out of 4 is what I'm left with. So my answer is 1/4. Okay, and I can check my answer by using multiplication by just multiplying straight across. So 1 times 1 is 1, and 2 times 2 is 4. So my answer is 1/4. Okay, now let's take a look at B. 1/3 of half a cake. So let's represent our 1 cake. Okay, and then we're finding 1/3 of half of that cake. So first I'm going to represent half, and then I need to find 1/3 of that half. So I'm going to split it into 3 parts. And I'm focusing on, or I'm trying to find, what 1/3 of that half is, which is represented here. If I were to extend these parts of my diagram, I would have 6 parts. And 1 of those 6 parts is what I'm focusing on. So if I look at multiplying straight across, I have 1 times 1, which equals 1, and 3 times 2, which equals 6. So 1/3 times 1/2, or 1/3 of 1/2, equals 1/6. Okay, now taking a look at C, I have 1/4 of 1/2, or 1/4 times 1/2. So again, I'm going to draw my model to represent 1 whole, and then I'm only focusing on that half. And I need to find 1/4 of that half. So I need to split it into 4ths. Okay, and I'm focusing, or I'm finding what one of those 4ths is. So again, if I extend the lines of my model here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 total parts, and 1 that is double shaded. 1 times 1 is 1, and 4 times 2 is 8. So my answer is 1/8. Then we have D, 1/2 times 1/5, or 1/2 of 1/5. So again, I'm going to represent 1 whole, but this time I'm focusing on 1/5, so I need 5ths. And I'm just finding what half of that fifth is. So I need to look at this fraction here, and I need to split that 1/5 in half. So this right here is 1/2 of 1/5. So if I were to extend my line here, I have 10 total parts, and I have one that is double shaded. So 1/2 times 1/5 equals 1/10. Okay, now let's take a look at E. 1/3 times 1/3. Okay, so I'm going to represent one whole, and I'm going to show 1/3 of that whole. That's this fraction here. Then I'm going to find what 1/3 of that 1/3 is. So I'm going to shade in 1/3 of that. Again, I'm going to show a representation of my total parts, and I have 9. And then one of those parts is what I'm representing. So 1/3 times 1/3 equals 1/9. And the last one that we're going to do here is 1/4 of 1/3, or 1/4 times 1/3. So again, using my model, I'm going to show one whole. I'm finding what 1/4 of 1/3 is, so I have to show 1/3. Then I'm finding 1/4 of that third. So here's 1/4 of that third. So I have 12 total parts, and 1 is my representation, or my double shaded part. 1 times 1 is 1, 4 times 3 is 12, so 1/4 times 1/3 equals 1/12.